स्पोर्ट्स से जुड़ी किसी भी छोटी या बड़ी अपडेट के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें स्पोर्ट्स तक और साथ ही किसी भी नोटिफिकेशन को पाने के लिए बेल आइकन को दबाना ना भूलें।
Andrson and Kohli has been one of the spectacles of the series. You are in the best seat behind the wickets. Could you talk about? Sorry, not behind the wicket, but could you talk about from where you were, that first over when Andrson bowled to Kohli? The drama.
Sorry.
The drama, if you can talk.
Yeah. It's fantastic Test cricket. You know, Virat's one of the best players in the world, if not the best at the minute, and Jimmy's, you know, England's greatest ever bowler. So as a matchup for fans and players alike, it's awesome to watch. You know, I think the two of them are immensely competitive and have had a great duel all through the series. I think Jimmy's been particularly unlucky. You know, I think he's created some great chances and been very close, and it's been great to watch.
Ali?
As who takes the wickets as long as you get the wickets, but it is kind of weird that Jimmy hasn't got him so far, given that every other frontline bowler has, and especially with that tight LB early on as well. It's can you make any sense of it? Put it that way.
Well, no, if we could catch, he'd have a few.
General here.
Jos, you had a very immensely successful summer, scored over 500 runs. Can you just talk us through this entire summer, as well as what did you do like sort of differently to sort of have such a glorious run this?
Well, I think I've found a nice balance and a good mentality about the game. I've got a good perspective and been practicing really well. I think that's been a good thing, and the consistency in preparation and probably the hunger to turn up and try hard again and continue good form. I think that's been a big thing for me this year, you know, in all formats of the game.
John, then George.
Josh, you mentioned the umpire's call, you know, the Anderson-Kohli umpire's call. At the end of the over, Dharmasian seemed to speak to Anderson and got the captain Root involved. Was that any of that big deal, or what was that about?
No, I didn't look at it. Sure, probably a couple of words, and that's about it.
George?
Does it feel like a breakthrough summer in Test cricket? And if it does, can you reflect at all on maybe what you've learned and whether you do feel more confident?
Of course you feel confident when you feel like you're contributing to the team and scoring runs. Confidence is, you know, one of the golden eggs really of any professional sport. So I've been really pleased with how it's gone so far since coming back, but you know, like I said just before, it's been about being consistent and doing it again, you know, more in the preparation side of things than actually in the middle. But it's, you know, very aware of how things can change for the better or for the worse very quickly. So very much stay in the moment and continue to put the hard work in.
Does that mean you'd be a bit reluctant to use words like that?
It's a breakthrough, I think. I feel like I've played Test cricket before for a period of time, and you know, there'd be times when you could say you've had breakthrough innings before. So I wouldn't say a breakthrough or the second or third coming or whatever. So, but yeah, I wouldn't say there's any sort of, you know, particular reason or a word to sum up the summer so far. I think I've just enjoyed my cricket. I spoke about when the first time I got recalled at Lord's, you know, an unbelievable opportunity to come back in and play, and you know, fire was really burning for Test cricket. I was very excited. I think that's been, you know, the best thing about it, has been able to maintain that and feel very privileged to play.
Jonathan, and then we'll do Steph.
Jos, yesterday evening, I guess because of the match situation, you started quite cautiously. This morning you started quite cautiously, and then you kind of went feral at the end a little bit. Is it just as easy as that? Just a click and then you move into a different mode, or is it a more gradual process? And how easy is it to change gears like that?
Yeah, I think you're trying to sum up the situation and play accordingly. I think you know, if you can be strong mentally, it can be easier than sometimes you find it a little bit trickier if you've got really into a mode of playing to then snap out of it and change. But I think, you know, batting where I do, and a few times this summer when you start batting with the tail. Yeah, it's something I've sort of done this summer and learned about, so I feel quite comfortable going into that mode. It probably comes quite naturally to me.
Stefan?
What did you make of the way that India dropped the field to you? The reason I ask that is because do you think that teams have got in the back of their minds what you've done in the white ball game, maybe are a bit fearful about what you can do in Test cricket, and that gives you a little bit of an advantage?
I think throughout the series, I think both sides really have had sort of in-out fields a lot of the time to try and negate a lot of boundaries probably, and I think for me it's great. I feel like I've been able to play in a nice manner and rotate strike, and it obviously gives you those options. And I think, rather than maybe in the past or teams' perception of me would be getting frustrated, not hitting boundaries, whereas at the moment I'm quite content to just be in the middle and ticking over and taking ones and twos.
We'll do Vish and then two more.
Jos, you're obviously playing with a lot of restraint, as you're, specifically this summer. Are there any moments where you've defended or left the ball and quietly to yourself thought that could have gone into the stands?
Not really, actually. I think I've never really seen red ball cricket. People have said to me, "Oh, you should play the way you do in white ball cricket and red ball cricket." I've never really seen it like that. I've never felt comfortable to just go out and play shots. Certainly at times, and for any batsman, you're always sort of reviewing your decision ball by ball, and of course for anyone there'll be times where you feel like, I could have hit that one, or you'll play a miss and feel I should have left that one. So you're always sort of evaluating at the time, but I've never seen it red ball cricket as going out and being very respectful of the situation and playing the situation accordingly.
Jos, you've added several vital runs with the tail this series. What would you say has been key to that success? Do you give them more confidence? Do you make them feel comfortable?
Yeah, I think their own talent, really. I think that's been a real strength of the side, is the all-rounders. Sam Curran scored lots of runs, really vital runs. Rashid's a very capable batsman, and Broad scored some lots of international runs as well. So they're all good players in their own right, and I think what that does is give you confidence to stay in the same manner, and you don't have to change the way you're playing just because you may be 7 or 8 down. But I think they're really good players at the other end, and we can just build, as we did today, me and Broady, just build a partnership and make that as big as we can.
Last one.
Do you still have the effort on the bat handle, that effort, and do you have a look at it during the middle, or is it just a thing that is like a tattoo?
Yeah, it's still there. As I've said before, it's a really good mental reminder at different times of your innings, or different things happen on the field, to sort of let it go and move on.